Good morning, everybody. I was thinking about some things. It's Miss School. I had that name since I was 14. I always come on here and say it. I wonder why people do have like names. I just want to trace it. Like, of course, your parents name you. Of course, when you get married, your name changes and you go by the male's name, and you become one. The Bible makes so much sense, so many times, but then sometimes it's like what? But yeah, this name thing, and some people just change their whole name completely. But a lot of movie stars do that, right? Or just ordinary people, they'll pick up this persona. The thing about it is, names are really cool, and I like it, but. And you find out the meaning, or you go in the past about all these names. Of course, like what's sad is the slaves and stuff. They had the names of who owned them and things, and that's sad to think you could own a slave. Help me, Jesus. Try to understand everybody, but it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting names. And then when you do find out the meaning, who says that meaning is that meaning? You know what I'm saying? So it's like you could Google it, you could ask Alexa, you could do what I did, and mine's all honey, okay? And then it does give a quote in the Bible where it's from. You can see that, right? So. New leaves. Nice, huh? Honey, all honey. I love honey. I can come on here and talk about random things just because I want to. You know what I'm saying? All honey. I have to tell you about life experiences, first of all. Don't worry, I'll go back to the names. I met this vegetarian girl. She told me she wouldn't eat honey. And I'm like, why not? Because it came from a bee. And I'm like, so you could get extreme. You could change your name. You could name a name after something you love. That's the part of life that is so exciting. Finding things out, learning, having that openness to actually like listen to other people. Now I can't, understand a lot of things. But if I want to learn, then it helps me to, understand it. And it's simple, and it's something that people probably wouldn't have a conversation about. But for me, it's extremely important that we think about things that we normally don't think about. Okay, because then we can exercise thoughts in our mind that would help us learn and teach us that, this is something that I thought of that interests me, and now I want to kind of go a little bit forward with it. Now I don't know how far I'm going to go forward with it. It's like life itself, Say, for example, things you can handle. We all have to be able to handle a certain amount, right? That's why people go in the gym. I mean, not for several reasons. But isn't it nice that they know what they can handle, how much weight, how much they're going to be able to lift? Well, in life, how much can you eat? I can overeat. How much can people, like I said, lift in weights? How much juice can you drink? Okay, this morning, I've got beet, carrot, and I've got, what else I put in there? There's some celery in there. But these juices, how much can I handle of vegetables? How much ginger can I handle? Because this ginger is just rocking. I like the way it makes me feel. I like it in my mouth. I like to taste it. Sometimes you can switch out and, think about some other things. And then after you're thinking about them and doing them, I am going to switch around here. Is that okay? Like lavender. I like the lavender oil because if you put the lavender oil on your hands and smell it, Okay, what happens? Goes to your brain. We all know that. It creates this kind of like mood, right? Like music or feelings or just in touch with all of these things that the good Lord gave us. Our eyesight, the senses, all of your senses. Have you ever noticed some people are lacking in some of those senses? But you wouldn't want to say, hey, I think you ought to try some other stuff. You have to kind of approach that kindly, right? Well, tell you the truth, it's a wonderful thing when you can drink ginger, smell lavender, go to what helps you get through. You know what I'm saying? But try not to make it negative. But if it is negative, you will learn from that too. That, maybe you can open your mind up to different things, But anyway, it's Miss Cool coming on here this morning, talking about the juice I made, talking about names, talking about what they mean, and the opportunity to actually name a child. Do you know what that feels like? I want to tell you what that feels like to lay in a hospital and looking at in your child's eyes, newborn. It's so beautiful. They're so precious. Their feet, their little heels, their little chest, their necks, the back of their neck, the smell of them. Gosh, I'll go to a church just so a mother there will let me hold her baby. I guess you couldn't possibly, well, I don't want to say that. I don't want to be offensive to people. See how I caught that? But is it wrong to say that? That experience is for those that experience it? Could it be imitated? No. Having a child's a beautiful thing. Naming a child. Did I tell you I went in a laundromat about 25 years ago? And I look back at those days in my life where I was in places that you would walk in a place and think, this isn't a cool place. This is poor, or maybe it's a laundromat. But look back at the beauty that was there and the lessons that it taught you. This lady had 19 kids. I thought to myself, why didn't she just have 20? But she named them all. I saw them all in there. They were cute girls. And I remember doing their laundry and meeting them and talking. Sometimes it's always a good idea if you get a vibe that you can talk to a stranger. And then they open up to you. This lady had 19 children. I did have to ask her. I said, what do you make for breakfast? And we discussed some different things, But she named these children, back to the names. See, I'm staying on point here. And she named them all beautiful names. And so when I name my children, it's a beautiful thing in life that you get to do. Some people like to name a pet. I hear if you give a pet a middle name, it's more special. If I had a dog, I'd give it, a middle name. Definitely. You meet people also that don't have middle names. And you think to yourself, gosh, that person had that opportunity to throw in another name. And then I don't know if I had mentioned about slaves, their owners having their name to give to them. You look back in history and it's very sad. So people need to understand why a lot of people name their children some kind of unusual names like, black people and that. I hate to say black people. I think that's lame. I'm a white person. Am I? Yeah, am I that color right there? I'm not white. Come on now. And I can jump around here. Let me tell you about a Band-Aid. And then I want to get back to that other thing. Band-Aids are tan. They changed that up, didn't they? I caught on. Oh, so you're going to put a tan skin Band-Aid on a black person, a child, and they're going to look at it and go, wait a minute, that don't match my skin. And why did they make them tan? So, I understand this racist thing going back and some different things to not offend people. But just like the measurements, the weights, the balance, did they go too far on it? Are we going too far on different things? Of course we are. But guess what? They can't force me. People cannot force you to change. You have to want to do it. You have to be the one. Okay? For anybody that hasn't had fresh beet juice with ginger, jump on it. Get you a juicer. My juicer was $49, and it's been a lot of fun juicing. I got another one in here. Let me grab it. Got me some black beans I cooked. I got me some juice, and got me some fresh mint. Check out this juice, okay? You got to shake it up, you know. You don't want to overdo it, but you want to put something decent in your body before a lot of other stuff is. But it's just Miss Cool coming on here talking about some names this morning, talking about the different slave names and different people, what your name means. Okay, so check it out. See that? Pamela. All honey. New leaves. Okay, and that's, you know, something that's in the Bible. Whether you believe in the Bible or not. Where's the name sourced from? Okay, so what you want to do is check out your name. If you don't like your name, change your name. And I don't know, names, words, language. These college people I love. Different things you can learn. The deal is if it's interesting to you, because you're going to chase it if it's interesting to you. And then you can go on to the next subject. I have a lot of thoughts, but I like this name thing, and I want to stay focused on that. So the slaves and the black people and biblical names that are come from people like that, you know, took on those names as far as occupations, you know, Smith, blacksmith. But the black people in particular have some really cool names. At first, if you didn't understand it, like, you know, I think that it derives from the fact that they were slaves and didn't have their names, or someone took them. Of course, somebody took them, slave owners. And I just like some of the names. They're really cool. People come up with Shaquille, and it's really cool. Did anybody know, also talking about, you know, the slaves as far as a lot of things go, did you ever notice that they braid their hair? Did you know that they had to braid their hair on the top of their head and make a map? Check it out. Look it up. I saw that, and that was really interesting. I'm just popping on here this morning talking about some different things that I like and that are interesting, names, views, what they actually mean. But we've come a long way, haven't we? Since I was young, you know, when I was young, things are a lot different. It's interesting, you know, like my name, Miss Cool. Somebody gave me that name that was in Pasadena, and I like it. Am I cool? Not really. I'm just a person that thinks things different than others, and learning to accept other people, you know, and just stay cool with them, Miss Cool, and understand where they're from, where they're going, and what are their interests. So sometimes that hasn't been easy for me. Patience and kindness and just listening to others. But if I'm interested, I'm like, I want to know about them. So it's always a good idea to have an interesting subject. But what's interesting to me might not be interesting to you. So anyway, back to the pets. You know, some people have pets and they give them a middle name. Of course, if a person gives a dog a middle name or any type of pet, that I hear is really super cool. But naming children, actually having a newborn laying in your arms and looking in their eyes and smelling their neck, their little feet and their heels. There's nothing better than a newborn baby in your arms. Like, I'll just go to any church just so I can look at a mother and say, can I hold that baby? Of course, everybody says, and you get to give it back. Well, it's a beautiful thing. I saw a baby in a buggy yesterday, but it was a different type of buggy. You know, they tried to imitate an old-fashioned buggy. But very sweet, very sweet. It just gives you a flashback on your life or things that you want to see or feel or remember. Like I have like a bottle of lavender too, and these things that bring memories, feelings back. If you can focus on the good ones, that would be key. Like the lavender I have, it puts me in a state of calm. Things that kind of would make you feel Like if I listen to some old music or go into an antique store, they can make you feel a little bit different, or if you meet somebody really special. I was at the DI in Spanish Fork yesterday, and I saw this young mom. Well, she wasn't too young, but to me she was, because she was like maybe in her 30s, and I'm 66 now. So I would say, but she had this big basket, and then it was all kinds of cute bears. And I had done that before with my granddaughter. Got a basket and just put a lot of different little things, in it. These stuffed animals and things, and just have them poking up and looking really cute, really nice ones, even though they're used. That are in great condition. So as I looked at her, I said, "That is really cool. What are you doing with that basket with all the bears in it?" Because they were, little, but just, it was really dainty, pretty. Not too small, not too big, like the three bears. But she goes, "I'm taking these to church so the children can grab a bear and bear their testimony." I thought, that is super cool. Anybody that can talk to a child and put some memories in there and make them feel good about who they are, and just, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. This communication, the how we can smell things, and it takes us to a place. Not all bad memories all the time. Good memories, good feelings, children, good things. So that's what I'm saying. If you come from a place that, hard knocks, you see it on Facebook, they think it's really cool. What school did you go to? School of Hard Knocks. But be able to kind of get forward with it, and put some good knocks in you. How about that? How about somebody say, "You know what? I'm going to have a good knock today. I'm going to have a good feeling. And if it was bad, I'm going to say, hey, guess what? That made me stronger." Or take the good out of it. It's hard to take good out of things, isn't it? Who wants to get a big bag of black beans, pinto beans, or lay them on a table and get a rock out? Do you do it? I don't. I might rinse them off, but I'm going to dump them in that crock pot. It's just different things in life. What's more important than to you? But the names that I want to keep kind of focusing on, what's your name? People getting married, taking on a man's name. I've met plenty of women that are like, "I ain't going to do that." And I'm like, alrighty then. People that name their children all with like names that have the same letter. People that name their children like, I personally like names that end in Pamela, Laura, I've always liked names that end in Utah, just words like that. But I've jumped around quite a bit here, done on this little shout out. But think about names today, Think about names, I got a Ryan the Lion, I got a Jamie Ann, I got a Christopher Matthew the Brick. I used to call Jamie Ann Susie. I remember when she was little. It's a beautiful thing to have children. And I don't know where I got that name, but she sure is a Susie. Susie, Susie. I used to sing this little song. It might sound funny to you, but it went like this. She was so little. And I still sing it once in a while. And I'm like, "Pamela, your daughter's grown." But it goes, "Susie and Susie and Susie and Susie and Susie and Susie and me." It's fun. It's a lot of fun names. Names are fun. Just know that your name's important. But if you want to change it, that's cool too. And if black people need to come up with these killer names, let them. Let them. I mean, they're going to do it anyway. Receive it. Enjoy it. Enjoy your name. Name a pet. And if you've ever had an opportunity to have an infant in your arms. And a lot of people wait till they're born just to feel it. They've got some names that they've chose, but they want to really hold that baby and embrace them. Be it a little prince, a boy. Christopher was really cute. Or be it a little girl. You'll know. I've heard some really cool names. And of course, I let Jamie's dad name her Jamie. So we put my middle name in there, Ann. I let my mom name my son Christopher Matthew. That's okay, it's a beautiful name. Christopher, you know, sailed the mighty sea. And Christopher's got the name Christ in it. Ryan Javon. I really had no idea I was going to name him Ryan Javon. He's the only child out of the 3 I named. And because you want to give somebody that feeling, right? And when you exercise that and have a choice, even if you're young, there's reasons for things. But Ryan Javon, yeah. I actually was watching Ryan's Hope. It was a soap opera. And I like the name Ryan. Ryan. And then I thought, well, what am I going to give him for a middle name? And so I certainly did. I was laying in the hospital, and Jovan Musk Oil came on. They still sell it once in a while in like a store, you'll see it. And I thought, Ryan Jovan. That sounds cool. Why not? I mean, you hear all kinds of cool names. It's really cool when people name their children after spices. You know, sage, ginger. You wear that name, don't you? It's very cool. So you have a great day. Think about names. Think about the people that change their names. People up. I ask people. And it might sound really strange to some people. Like if they'll tell me a really cool name. I'll say, did your mom put that on the birth certificate? And they're like, yeah. Or they'll say, I don't like my first name, so I go by my middle name. I'm like, well, that's okay too. But names are really important. People that own businesses, naming their business. We got a Salty Barber. We got an Elite. We got a Urban Pawn, my son's businesses. You know, it's what you name and what you do and making the business card and just back to the child in your arms and who you are. Have a great day and God bless you, and be thinking about names today, will you?